Well, I think bebop, I don't know who put that word. I think a writer put the word bebop there because some of the phrases ended with two eight notes, da da, da da,
Yes.
so I don't think it was Dizzy's concept to call it bebop, and Charlie Parker either. They didn't like the idea, Charlie Parker in particular didn't like the idea of it being called anything but modern music.
Yes.
But, for marketing, I guess it was okay.
Who, besides Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, who else would you consider to be a creator of the bebop music?
Well, I think the other important people are Kenny Clark, the drummer, and Thelonious Monk, the pianist, and Dizzy and Charlie Parker. But I'm sure there are some people who are on the fringes that people never mention. There were sessions I heard at Minton's that had a lot of people, including Charlie Christian, the guitarist from Benny Goodman fame, and others involved in it. But those Bird and Dizzy and Monk and Kenny Clark, I would think would be the big four.
The architects of bebop.
Yes, followed soon by others like Max
Roach.
Yes, Max Roach and Bud Powell and people like that. I think Minton's was the place where the cradle, where bebop was really nurtured, was Minton's Playhouse on 118th Street and in St. Nicholas Avenue. I only went there to one night when the sessions were going on, because this was early, and by the time I came to New York in 47, things were happening downtown. I came there with a saxophonist named Leo Parker. Leo Parker was a baritone saxophonist from the bebop era too. Was very outstanding. He died young though, a victim of the scourge of drugs. But he had played in Billy Eckstine's big band. Billy Eckstine had the first bebop big band.
That, I think, is so important for people to know.
He had Dizzy, Charlie Parker, Sarah Vaughan, Art Blakey. Who else? I think he had J.J. Johnson, Lucky Thompson. He had, I think Sonny Stitt played in, so Billy Eckstine left Earl Hines. It's a long continuum. Earl Hines had those people. He had Dizzy, Charlie Parker, Sarah Vaughan. And then when he gave music to Eckstine to start his band, then Eckstine came up with these different modern arrangements, not quite to the modernization of Dizzy's, but he gave music to Dizzy when he started his band. Just basic stuff to start your band, and you get your other arrangers to come up with the new. So it was from Earl Hines into the Billy Eckstine band and into Dizzy's band. But back to Minton's is when I went with Leo Parker, and I was staying with him around on St. Nicholas Avenue, as I was saying about Charlie Parker earlier, it was the custom that the first one up in the morning would take the other one's instrument to pawn shop.
Not again.
So I had my horn with me. I slept with one eye open. Because I knew if Leo and those guys, after going to Minton, Eddie Lockjaw Davis was there, and Monk and all of them were jamming at Minton's.
Yes.
But I knew Leo had a bad rep too. And so, I kept my saxophone close that night. But that was the only time I was up there on a session at Minton's.
Yes,
but I knew about
Minton's
from Philadelphia. We all knew that if you go to New York, where the beboppers are is in Minton's. Dizzy would be up there, Howard McGee, all the guys would be up. Monk was working up there. So this was where they were creating this music, and all the white musicians who were around would come there also. you know, and mittens.
And
It was the
learn.
place, and learn and participate, you know, because
And they were encouraged to participate.
oh yeah,
This was like a communal environment.
this is true. Bebop was integrated music. The integration begun in the swing era, at the end of it, when Benny Goodman got Lionel Hampton, Teddy Wilson, and people with him, and Charlie Christian, and you know, and when Artie Shaw had Billie Holiday singing with him, and when Gene Krupa had Roy Eldridge playing, which I saw at the Earl Theater. You know, as far as these critics writing about swing was in this year, and this was New Orleans music, and this was swing, and this was this, and this was bebop, and having these deadlines when thing ends, it never did. All these things are still going on.
Yes. So elements of bebop are still in the music,
Everything.
African American classical music.
It definitely is.
Yes.
You know, we'll get to it later as being a teacher.
Okay.
You know, as far as that's concerned, but it didn't end. The critics, you know, music, or I say it's bebop or whatever particular genre you're talking about, it's like roaches. You can't kill it.
That's an interesting comparison.
But it comes back, it's still here.
Yes.
It's still here.
It's still there.